Charles Barkley is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Sir Charles, welcome in. We're about to tell people how to win Chuck's Bucks this week with Redmont Vodka. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing great. A little tired of studying all these NCAA things, but hey, life is good. I got no complaints.
Well, the tournament is about to start. We'll get your pick, but I do want to ask you, as a guy that grew up, Birmingham is a suburb of Leeds. How about this town getting both Alabama and Auburn in the first round? This is going to be a crazy scene in Birmingham this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's great for the state. It's great for Birmingham. Auburn, we got a chance against Iowa. Ours solid, but, we got, in my opinion, I love our coach, so we got a chance against anybody. We just got to keep the game close and make some shots. So I'm looking forward to the Iowa game, and I think we getting the two breaks. I think playing in Birmingham is a big deal, and also Sasser being hurt at Houston. If we get past Iowa, I think we got a good chance because he's their best player. And listen, I've said before, I appreciate Alabama using me in their little video montage. I think they got the best player in the country. I think they got the best team in the country. And it's going to be very tough to beat them, period.
Okay, well, we're not going to jump the script yet and get your national champion, but back to the potential matchup in Birmingham, the 1-seed Houston and the 9th-seeded Auburn Tigers. We were all sitting at walk-ons, Chuck, with, Montel, Eleanor, the crew at Redmont Vodka, watching the selection show. We were completely blown away that Auburn goes to Birmingham as a 9th seed. How pissed would you be if you were Kelvin Sampson?
I don't think he's pissed because I think that they got the second best team. I think they listen. I think Auburn got a tremendous break with Sasser being hurt. I think it's going, but we got to get past Iowa first. I'm gonna pick us to beat Iowa. I'm not gonna pick us to beat Houston. I was doing my conference calls yesterday for the tournament. I would not play Sasser this weekend, to be honest with you. Because the groin is a very tricky thing. He could be out for the rest of the season if he tweaks that groin. I would rest him this entire weekend and give him 2 weeks off. Because if I'm Houston, I'm saying to myself, yeah, we're going to beat Northern Kentucky for sure. But we're probably going to beat Iowa or Auburn. I'm not going to risk my best player. I'm going to give him a whole 2 weeks to get healthy. But I'm telling you, it's going to be I like Auburn against Iowa. And, hey, thank the tournament for putting us in Birmingham. I think it's great for Auburn fans, too.
Yeah, back to Marcus Sasser. You played for so long. I'm sure you've had a groin injury before. How bad is it?
Well, the problem is there's two injuries that you hate, the groin and the abdominal, when you hurt your muscle around your stomach area, abdominal wall. Because what happens is there's nothing you can do except rest it. And the problem is you're going to start feeling good like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Then the first time you try to play basketball, you hurt it again. The only thing helping is rest. So I think, like I say, I think it's a bad break for Houston, but I think it could be potentially a great break for Auburn because, no, listen, those Alabama fans, they better be cheering for Auburn. And I'll tell you this, Auburn fans better be cheering for Alabama. This is not like football. I think both teams should cheer for the other team, especially being in Birmingham. I think is a huge advantage.
Okay, but why should they be cheering for the other team? Explain that to me. I saw your comments yesterday in the headlines, and I was, they're not in the same region. They can only play each other if they meet for the national championship. Why should an Auburn fan be cheering for Alabama?
Well, because we're in Alabama. This is not football. We hate them in football. They hate us in football. Shout out to Coach Freeze, who's doing a fabulous job, I might add, between the recruiting and the transfer portal. Coach Freeze has done a fabulous job. I'm really proud of what he's accomplished. So that being said, hey, man, we're in Alabama. This ain't football. Football's a different animal. Those Alabama fans better be rooting for us. And listen, I'm calling out my Auburn fans. We should be rooting for Alabama too.
But Charles, can I make a case for you? because,
Yes.
I mean, all due respect to Auburn football, Auburn basketball has been more successful than Auburn football recently. Alabama basketball is now here at the party the last couple of years. I think the basketball rivalry is more intense than the football rivalry right now.
First of all, that's just crazy talk. Now you're just being crazy. Wait, are y'all drinking red mud on the round table?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm open. If somebody will mix me a drink, I will do it. But the intensity of those two home games are insane right now. These fan bases it's intense in basketball right now.
First of all, I totally agree with you, and we should have won that other game in Tuscaloosa too. We choked that one away. We should have won that game. But listen, they don't have to play each other to the national championship game if they both get there, which that's unrealistic. But if you're gonna be in the arena, wait. First of all, how many people in Alabama actually ever been to Iowa? Just for the record, 0. Hey, I'm going to go out on a limb. How many people in Alabama, whether Alabama or Auburn fans, actually been to Iowa? Nope, that's a hard no. They have not been there, okay? And in Alabama, hey, man, I told you, they have the best team. They have the best player. It's great recognition for the state. It's great. Hey, shout out to the Mayor Woodfin, the great mayor of Birmingham. This is great for Alabama, man. I'm a pro-Alabama guy. Anything that's going to be great for the state of Alabama, I think is awesome. So, listen, come on, man. Don't compare the Alabama rivalry in basketball to Alabama rivalry in football. Stop that. You guys stop that.
Stop it, Dunaway. Stop.
Real quick, Chuck, I agree with half of your theory here because if Houston is to lose to Auburn, I could see Alabama fans pull for that because Alabama fans do not believe Auburn's going to make a run to a Final Four or a national championship. To go on and knock out a one like Houston, who you just said is the second best team in college basketball, I believe there will be some Alabama fans pulling for that. But on the other side, there will not be one Auburn fan pulling for Alabama. They want them done.
Well, they're not going to be done. I don't see them having a hard game until they play Arizona. I actually have the brackets in front of me because I've been studying I've been studying for the last 3 months. That's the only thing that sucks about March Madness. I had to study, something I've never done before in my life. I have to study. I mean, when I was back at Auburn, I had somebody doing all my damn homework for me. But this March Madness is like real studying right now. So I got the bracket in front of me, and let me tell you something. Until they play Arizona, I don't think they're going to be tested. I really don't believe. I'm looking here. Maryland, West Virginia, San Diego State, and Virginia can't beat them either. Virginia's going to beat Furman. San Diego State could be a tough game, but until they play Arizona, I don't see Alabama having a hard contest.
Charles Barkley is with us, the Auburn great. You can win Chuck's Bucks. See more at nextroundlive.com. Go get in the Red Mott Vodka Bracket Challenge at Next Round Live. Win Chuck's Bucks if you can do that. I do want to ask you about Texas. Rodney Terry is an interim coach. His team is playing very, very good basketball right now, though. This guy has coached pretty much a full season. Are you a believer in the Texas Longhorns, even with an interim coach?
I am. I am a believer. I don't understand why they haven't taken the interim off of his name. I mean, his body of work is pretty damn good. And when you beat Kansas by 20 in Kansas City, that's really impressive. I actually am shocked they haven't taken the interim tag off of his name. But, yeah, I'm a believer in Texas.
There is only one seed that everyone says has no shot, and that's based on history. It's based on the way they're playing 3-3 over the last 6 games, and really they've only got one legit player. That's Purdue with 7'4" Zach Edey. Do you have any confidence Purdue can make a Final Four run?
I do not. I got them losing to Memphis in the second round. I think the Memphis-Florida Atlantic game is going to be a really good game. But I think Memphis was going to beat Purdue in the second round. They're my first number 1 seed is going to lose. But yeah, I don't. I do not, because if you watch that game, I watched that entire game the other day, and when you put pressure on those guys, they've totally panicked. They don't have enough athletic ability, top to bottom. Edie is a problem, but you can attack him on the other end with pick and rolls and 3-point shooting. But I got them losing the second round to Memphis.
You've been around the NBA your whole life, and you know what good basketball looks like. What makes Brandon Miller such a hot prospect? He'll be the number one college pick in the NBA draft. What does he do, Charles, so well that makes everybody just fall in love with him at the NBA level?
Well, a couple of things. It was fun. I was watching ESPN last night, and they were talking about Brandon Miller is in the conversation for the second draft pick. I'm like, see, that lets you know these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. He easily is the best player in college. Now, Victor Wembanyama is going to be the number one pick, the 7'4" kid from France. But if you actually watch college basketball this year, Brandon Miller has been the best player in the country. And the reason, to answer your question, he is a perfect NBA player today. The perfect NBA player today is 6'6" to 6'9", who can guard all positions, because we don't use centers anymore. There's only two legit centers in the NBA. That's Joker and Embiid. But the rest of the NBA they become a 3-point shooting contest and a bunch of 6'6" to 6'8", 9 guys. And that's why Brandon is such he's made perfect for the NBA today. He can guard all three positions, because now they switch everything on the perimeter. So that's why he's such an intriguing prospect. I don't know the kid. I wish him nothing but the best. This situation is very tricky with the young lady who got killed. So shout out and blessings to her and her family. I try not to play moral authority on things like that, because hey, we all do stupid things when we're young. I thought they should have suspended him for a couple games. Personally, I said that yesterday in the press conference. Just give him a timeout and say, hey, you did something wrong. We want you to, because unless somebody tell you do something wrong, you don't know you did something wrong. So I thought they should have suspended him for at least a couple games, but they didn't. It's a really awkward situation, but I wish him nothing but the best. And like I said, first of all, did they give y'all any credit for using the video montage when I was saying they were the best team in the country?
They did not, but so many people consume this show, they knew it came from here.
Well, just let you know, they should have gave y'all credit for because I said that on you guys' show first. I said, hey, and it was painful, and it's still painful. Alabama's the best team in the country. I'm going to pick them to win it. Like I say, I don't see them having a hard – San Diego State's going to be an interesting game, but I think they're just better. But, man, when they play Arizona, that's going to be a heck of a game. But they're the best team. I like Coach Oates. I started studying him a few years ago when he was at Buffalo. And I said, damn, that guy can really coach. So when y'all hired him, that was a home run. So, man, it's going to be a great tournament, though. Nothing can screw up March Madness. I tell people, other than the Olympics, which is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of in my life, March Madness is just flat out amazing. I know the fans in Alabama are going to come out in droves to support Auburn and Alabama. It's great for Birmingham, man. I'm excited that we got a regional there.
Okay, because we didn't get credit last time, I'm going to let Brown set this question up professionally. And when you tell us your final four picks and then your national champion, just preface it by saying, I want to let the next round know that Alabama will be cutting down the nets as the national champion. Is that okay?
Well, I want the round table to know.
No, next round. Get the name right, Charles. We changed
the
it.
next round.
Yeah, all right. Start over. Here, I'll set you up. Hey, don't forget the Final Four live right there at nextroundlive.com. You can win Chuck's Bucks. All right, Charles, the time is now. Tell us who is your national champion.
Well, so the next round, is that right?
Yes.
I want the next
You're
round.
almost as bad as Mike Tyson back in the 80s at this. Come on.
Okay, you got it. Let's go one more time where we don't have to edit it.
So how am I supposed to say this?
Just say, I want to let the next round know who my national champion is.
Scott's going to
I
put your.
want the next
Hang
round.
on. We got to give Scott time to put your photo up so this goes viral. All right, here we go. All right, Auburn great Charles Barkley. Who you picking to win the national championship?
I'm picking, and this is pain for me to say, Roll Tide, national champions.
Charles, thank you for the time. Always fun talking to you.
Can't wait to see the fight on Comcast Cable.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. We
See you,
thank you
Chuck.
too. Chuck with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. The final pour right there, nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com.